Shalom, Kahala, Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Bahasham, Waha, Rakakwadash. Double honors to the apostles, great millstone. Peace and blessings to you, Akim, pushing this word in truth and sincerity throughout the four corners of the earth. This is from Amathia from Great Millstone, Dallas. And wanted to go over this word, waver. All right. And the reason I want to go over this word, waver, because we're at the final countdown of the downfall of Babylon the Great, and also the rulership, which is ruled by Esau Edom. And now is really the time to buckle down, and continue to grow in the faith and not waver. Okay? Because as you see, we have to be circumspect, not as fools, but as wise, because the days are evil, which is going into evil, going into bad times. Eve meaning time, and ill meaning bad. Okay, so these bad times we're in is only going to get worse. As we discussed, as we went over in camp last night. So we have to continue in the faith, to continue to grow in the faith, and not waver, especially in these times, because that grace period is almost done, if it's not done, because the Lord is getting ready to make his way to the earth. All right. When you look at this word waver, definition, it says shake with a quivering motion, become unsteady or unreliable, be undecided between two options or courses of action, be irresolute, if I'm saying it correctly. Okay? So you can't be unstable in this truth, because the Lord said, I'm going to get it. I wanted to get James, but I want to go to this here, because the Lord said if you are in this, if you are unstable, okay, he's going to basically throw you away. I think it's okay. Yeah, I want to get this. All right. This is Revelations 3:15. It says, I know thy works, that thou art neither cold nor hot. I would thou wert cold or hot. So then, because thou art lukewarm and neither cold nor hot, I will spew thee out of my mouth. So the Lord is telling you, if you are lukewarm, if you're not hot in this thing, you're not on fire, he's going to spew you out. All right? And you don't want to be spewed out. If you're spewed out, then what's going to happen? You're going to receive, all right, the plagues that are coming upon the world, which ultimately is that thermonuclear destruction. When Esau comes down with great wrath, knowing they have a short time, in Revelations 12:12. If you lukewarm, you can get caught up in the wrath of that. So we got to be on fire. I'm speaking to myself first and foremost. Okay? So you don't want to be unstable in these times. You want to actually be head first in this thing. Okay? Trust in the Lord with all thine heart, and lean not to your own understanding. Because you may see some things you may not understand, but the Lord is going to guide that path for you to make that way. What we're seeing now, as far as Esau's getting ready to bring over more of this digital system, bring forth also the wrath on you Jakes. We see that with ice coming down on you. These things are not finna slack up, okay? This man, Esau Edom, which is the so-called white man, and this rulership he know that his time is short. So he's going to do whatever he can to perform his enterprise, okay? And I believe that, what is that, 2 Corinthians 2:11, lest Satan get advantage of us. We're not ignorant to his devices. We're not ignorant for these things. So why are you wavering? You don't believe the Lord, to believe he is, believe he's is not going to deliver you in these times? And let me just quickly check on that, because I quoted it. I think it's 2:11, 11:2. Yeah, 2 Corinthians 2:11. Lest Satan should get an advantage of us, For we are not ignorant of his devices. As it says in the NLT over here, it says, so that Satan will not outsmart us, for we are familiar with his evil schemes. So that's what he does. Those devices, those schemes that he's bringing out. And what we're doing, we're calling them out, We're calling them out, these schemes, just like we have the playbook. We're seeing the things that are happening, and we're calling them out. If the ones that you play football or know of it, you have the offense running a play, and you see the guy go in motion, we're calling it out, letting you know what play he's about to run. So he's seeing us call out the plays. That's why he's gonna look forward to try to come down on us. And when I'm talking about us, I'm talking about the men of the Lord, okay? The ones that are signed the crown for the abomination thereof, being the watchmen. That's what we do as watchmen. We call it out. And that's calling out what? Calling out things before it happens. Therefore, we're prophesying. Okay? And we're giving the correct message, especially here in GMS, Great Millstone, from our apostles on down. Okay? So you can't be seeing the things that are happening in this world and starting to break down. You shouldn't waver in this thing. This thing we're in, you got to be pedal to the metal with it, fully integrated into this word, into this truth, into your belief, into your faith. This is James 1 and verse 6. I'm going to start at verse 5. Is that if any of you lack wisdom, let him ask of Yahweh Shem Shai that giveth to all men liberally and upbraideth not, and it shall not be given. Okay? But let him ask in faith. You have to believe. Okay? Let him ask in faith, not wavering. For he that wavereth is like a wave of the sea driven with the wind and tossed. So you can't be wavering. You can't ask for the Lord and not believe. Because if you're asking of the Lord, you have that unbelief, being lukewarm, the Lord is not going to answer you. The Lord is not going to respond to you the way you think the Lord should respond. The way you think, you know what I'm saying? And like I say, it's the Lord's program, but he wants you to have faith. And if you believe in him, you're not going to be confounded. If you believe and have faith in him, the Lord is going to deliver you in these times that it's going to become these bad times, these evil times. But you have to continue, and the Lord will allow you, and the Lord will have your faith to grow. Okay? You may not see these things that are, you may not see these things like in time now, but like right now, you may not see certain things that are happening, but the Lord is telling you that these things are about to happen. And you see the progression of the end. You see the progression of the collapsing society. You see the progression of the jobs being lost. You see the progression of the food, okay, is becoming lack of. Why is that? Because the devil, okay, is ruling. You see the technocracy that's advancing. These are the signs of the times. That's why we're supposed to measure the time diligently in itself. And having that faith, knowing you have that sound mind that it says in 2 Timothy 1, around the 7th verse, okay? The Lord didn't give us a spirit of fear. He gave us a spirit, a sound mind. We shouldn't be having that fear. Well, we have fear in the Lord, and that's the beginning of the wisdom, This is Hebrews 10. In verse 23, it says, let us hold fast the profession of our faith without wavering. For he is faithful that promised. Okay? In the NLT, and I always like to bring out the NLT as well. It says, let us hold tightly without wavering to the hope we affirmed. For Yahweh Shem Shai can be trusted. Keep his promise. So we got to have faith that the Lord is going to keep his promise. We see throughout time, throughout history, because the scriptures, okay, it's a history book. We see that the Lord kept his promise. And then when we were stiff-necked, like you said, the Lord kept his promise. He basically put the smack down on us. And I'm talking about the Israelites. Times we were stiff-necked, what did he do? He told us during the time of when we was out in the wilderness, he gave us these particular rules. Say if you continue to guide and by these particular standards that I presented to you, then things will flourish. But if you break this covenant, you break this the rules that I presented to you, we'll call them rules. We break these, then this is gonna happen to you. And what do we do? I'm talking about Israelites. We didn't hold up to the bargain. So the Lord basically, if we didn't hold up, the Lord hold up to his bargain, telling if we didn't continue or we didn't abide by the law, statute, commandments, he would do these particular things. All right, he would come down on us. He would put our enemies over us, and that's what happened. Okay, Deuteronomy 28 gives you the breakdown of if we stuck to the law, statute, commandments, we will flourish, and if we didn't, what would happen to us. And now what happened is what we're seeing today. But the Lord is starting to, but he said that he will return to us, and ultimately the elect will be delivered out of these times that we're in today. Hey, this is about over. This rulership, this world we're in, this world is about to pass away. And not saying the planet itself is going to be destroyed, but this rulership, Babylon the Great America, is about to be destroyed. Okay? And I want to be on the side where the Lord is going to have that mercy upon, opposed to the ones that are looking for Esau to do something for them, not having faith, wavering, thinking the Lord is taking too long, lost patience, trying to get the bag. The bag is about to get burnt up. Okay? We got to withstand in the evil day that's coming. Okay? I'm going to go ahead and get this here. I may go ahead and end off on here. This is Ephesians 6. You know, Ephesians going into that whole armor that we have to put on. But I want to get down here to verse 13. You know, I'm going to start at verse 12. It says, "For we wrestle not against flesh and blood, but against principalities, against powers, against the rulers of darkness of this world." Okay, the God of this world is ruling. And he had blinded the minds of the people. But the Lord gave us an eyesight to see. He brought us up from that dead state that is talked about in Ezekiel 37. Okay, we were once part of those dry bones, but now we have faith and believe, and the Lord took us out of that dead state, those dry bones. Now we're what? Through the Spirit, we're living. It says, against spiritual wickedness in high places. It says, "Wherefore take unto the whole armor of Yahweh Shem Yahushua, that ye may be able to withstand the evil day," the bad day, okay, the bad times, "and having done all to stand." Okay, I'm gonna read that in the NLT over here on verse 13. It says, "Therefore put on every piece of Yahweh Shem Yahushua's armor, so you will be able to resist the enemy in the time of evil." And we do have an enemy. Okay, Israel always had an enemy. The enemy, it starts with what? Esau, Edom, and the other heathen nations. It tells you that in Psalms 83. What did he do? They got together, these 17 nations, to try to cut us off from being a nation. Because when we're at one with our power, which is Yahweh, which is the Father, who the world ignorantly calls God, meaning he is, and Yahweh Shai, who the world ignorantly calls Jesus, because you can't get to the Father but through the Son, through Yahweh Shai, meaning he is our deliverer, he is our salvation. If they cut us off from them, then what? We're through. But when we're at one with our power, with that one mindset, okay, nothing can stop us. We will grow, we will flourish. And that's what's going to happen when we receive that rulership. When Yahweh Shai returns, when the Lord, the Most High, sends him. All right? He's going to come and take the kingdom. And it's going to be a rulership that's going to be ran forever and ever. Okay? That governing body. That's starting from what? From up high. So we have to what? Resist the enemy in the time of evil. Then after the battle, you will still be standing firm. So we cannot bow the knee to Baal. Okay? We got to withstand the wiles of the devil, the scoundrel. So with that, I'd like to give all praises, glory, and honor to Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Bahasham, Waha, Wahakodash. Shalom.